Here we are going live once again. Going to catch up on some questions that we weren't able to cover in prior live videos. We had some questions that came from viewers and some clients that had to do with some of the prior subjects. So let's take a look at a couple of the questions that came in. The first one referenced a video we did about Venmo refunding money that was sent to a scam. And that was from our live video from about a week and a half ago. And the question from this viewer said, well, can you make one on Western Union? Will Western Union refund your money from an online scam? And how will you get your money back? Is it possible to even recover from Western Union? It says, I know they want us to report to the police, but they're usually not doing good or helping recover as soon as possible. So how can a private investigator help me? Sorry, there's been a rise in online scams due to the virus. Well, this is true. And it's a very good question because a lot of the online providers, Venmo, Western Union, have come under great scrutiny for not protecting their clients or their payment providers enough. Well, here's a really good article that appeared in the Federal Trade, the FTC website, Federal Trade Commission website, where from March of this year, that Western Union had to pay $153 million in refunds to people who were scammed out of money through Western Union wire transfers. So this is right on point from what the client asked. So it's a very good question. A lot of the scams that happen online ask the victim to send money through various non-traditional payment methods. Western Union is one of them. Sometimes it's Bitcoin, sometimes it's Walmart gift cards. So here's an example where refund checks worth $153 million are going out to over 109,000 people who sent money to scammers through Western Union wire transfers. This is just a portion of the money that Western Union paid when it reached settlements with the FTC and the DOJ. And they've created this strong anti-fraud program. So it may seem like it takes a long time, but it is very important if you are a victim of an online scam to go through the proper channels. First of all, document the scam, get good evidence. Whether you do it yourself or have a private investigator do it, get the evidence documented. So when you do submit your claim for settlements that may happen in the future, you have all your evidence documented, because sometimes the evidence or the records can be deleted or they may be harder to get. And it talks about, in this particular scenario, the first refunds are going to people who signed and return a claim form. Well, that's what you need to do. If you have a scam take money from you through Western Union or any other source, there's going to be a process to go through, and you're going to have to sign a form and submit evidence. The refund checks will come from the United States versus Western Union. So the U.S. FTC, Federal Trade Commission, sued Western Union and are asking victims to come forward and to provide the evidence. It says other people who file claims will get refunds later this year. Again, the earlier the better. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row. So that's a very good question that came from this particular viewer. So we're going to take a look at the next question that came from a viewer that had to do with, how can I get a license plate ran? I'm being harassed, but the police will not do anything about it. My word is not good enough. And you can see on all these, we've blurred out the identity for privacy. So they want to basically search for the owner of a vehicle based on the license plate. Sometimes it can be done by VIN number. And this is also a very common question. The way it works is vehicle information is protected under federal privacy laws. The most common appropriate statute is called the DPPA, Driver's Privacy Protection Act. It was a federal law that was passed in the 1990s to protect you from being a victim of stalking. If somebody doesn't like the way you drive, or they see you, maybe you cut them off, or you drove too fast, they write down your license plate. You don't want them showing up on your door, knocking on your door because you took their parking place, right? So there's there's protections in place where you can't just call up the DMV and say who owns this car. However, there are exceptions to that privacy. The Driver's Privacy Protection Act has 7 different exceptions. One of them is civil litigation or different types of fraud prevention. And every state has a different form because driver's records, as you know, the license plate that you see not only has a license number, but below it says what state it's from. Is it from Oklahoma? Is it from Texas? Is it from Indiana? So the records for that plate are at the DMV for the state where the plate is. That's why the license plate says the name of the state right on it, because that's where the records are going to be. So if you want to get records on a license plate or even a VIN number for a vehicle, you're going to have to fill out a form and submit it to the DMV. And the reason you have to fill out a form is because they want to know your identity. They want to know who's asking for it. You can't be anonymous. You can't just be somebody randomly wanting to get information about a person, because too often these records are used for nefarious purposes, and they're trying to protect you as much as they're trying to help you. But if you fill out this DPPA request form, submit it to the DMV, and you can show good cause about why you need the information, and you're not using it to be a stalker or for identity theft or some other purpose, they'll release you the information, and you may be able to use it for legal purposes. Again, you may want to get legal advice about how to fill out that form. We have copies of those forms on our various websites, so you can get it from the DMV. And if you need, more consultation about how to use that form or how to do things, you can access our various websites, whether it's Teleclient or whether it's Active Intel. But that's a very good question. A lot of times getting those records is key to an investigation. We search vehicle records all the time. We look up owners of vehicles because it's a very important part of a typical investigation. So that's a really good question. Let's take another look at what other questions are available. In this case, somebody's asked about, they've watched older videos, and do you still offer the service about stalking and identity theft cases? And there may be more avenues, and they reference the video. And so we're going to pull it up. Here's the video they're talking about. It's from 2013. How can I find who is searching for me online? This comes up a lot. People want to know, who's searching for me, who's looking me up online. And that's a valid concern. If you have somebody that's stalking you or trying to find out private information about you, you may want to know about that. So that's going to be, one of the types of searches that you may want to be aware of. And the video that was referenced on the screen, and we'll put a link to it in this video, talks about that. But there's several tactics and techniques that can be used to find who's searching for you online. You can find who searched for you on Facebook. You can find who searched for you on various social media. One of the most common methods we deploy is what's called a honey trap. So if you think somebody's searching for you, basically what you do is you create a website that has some information about you, your name, your basic information, nothing that's private, nothing that people don't already know. And you do it in a way that makes that website pop up as a search result. Ideally would be one of the higher search results. And there's ways to make that web page pop up. So what happens is somebody will search for something like, where does Joe Smith live? And it'll have teaser information on that website. Joe Smith, current address, Joe Smith, private phone number, and it'll have keywords on the website. So when somebody sees that show up on the Google results, they're going to want to click that link. And what happens is when they click that link, it will take their IP address, their identity, certain types of, maybe even certain types of contact information, and it will give that person their information into the log files of the of that website. So if you set up this website, and usually we recommend setting up 1 or 2 to see which person goes to all 3 of them or all 4 of them, it'll put little tags on the website or cookies, and it will track who that person is, what's their Facebook account, what other websites they went to, what geographic area they're in, maybe email addresses, and there's ways to coordinate that so you can tell this person is searching for you. And it may be somebody who, if you're a professional, let's say you're an attorney or you're a doctor, there may be people searching for you all the time. But if you're just a private person that has maybe somebody looking for you for other reasons, that's one way that you can identify and bring those to the surface to where you'll know who is searching for you. So those are 3 pending questions we didn't get time to cover in prior videos that we wanted to put on our list. Again, if you do have questions you want us to cover, you can email help@activeintel.com. That's our help desk. We'll look for those and we'll put them on future videos, or if it comes in live while we're doing a video, we'll make it part of that week's or that episode. Again, if you like these videos, hit subscribe on your screen so that you can be notified when the next live video is coming up. You can also like the video. It'll help put these at the top of the list so other people can see them. And you can be on the lookout for our next video. Usually once or twice a week, we'll have a live video that you can ask questions, and we'll cover questions that came in during the week prior